Good day, kids. This is Teacher Angel, and welcome to our science class. Now, today, our topic will be about interactions among living things. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. Now, relationships and interactions exist among organisms of different species. Different relationships are existing in the community which can be beneficial or harmful among organisms. So these relationships serve as the basis for the survival of the species. So the most popular relationship includes feeding relationships, but organisms also interact in some other ways, like competition on other resources such as water or territory. Now, let's have the ecosystem. Now, what is an ecosystem? This is all living and non-living things that interact in an area. So like for example, this picture. This is an example of ecosystem. So what is a habitat? So this is the place where an organism lives and provides things for the needs of an organism. Like for example, this one, the forest, the water, underground, the desert habitat. Okay, now what is the difference between predator and a prey? So when we say predator, it hunts other consumers for food. It is the one who will eat. And when we say prey, it hunted and eaten by predators. So as you can see there, one great example is a lion and a deer. So which is the predator there? Okay, very good, the lion. How about the prey? Okay, the deer. Okay, so we have here the two factors for ecosystem. We have the biotic and abiotic factors. So what is the difference between the two? So as you can see there in the examples, when we say biotic, those are living things. Again, biotic, bio meaning life, meaning life. So meaning these are the living things. When we say abiotic, those are non-living things. Means not life. So no life. So non-living things. So what are some example for biotic? We have the fungi, bacteria, archaea, animals, protists, plants, humans. Okay? How about abiotic like air, salinity, salt, temperature, and so many? Okay? Now, I want you to look at these pictures. This one. Okay. So we have here different relationships or interactions among living things. So we have the mutualism. Okay. So when we say mutualism, class, can you read? That is the interaction between two species wherein the species benefit to each other. So when we say symbiosis, class, that is the act of living together or interactions of two organisms. Okay, like for example, um, digestive bacteria and humans. Okay, this is an example for mutualism. Okay, so human beings have what are often called good bacteria. Okay, we have good bacteria in our body and in the digestive system. So these good bacteria exist in order to help the human to digest. Okay, so some foods cannot be digested entirely. So when these foods are consumed, when we eat it, the bacteria in the digestive system or in our stomach feed on those foods. So the bacteria stay alive. So the human gets help with the process of digestion. Okay? So sea anemones and clownfish. That is an example. So clownfish are often found living amongst the tentacles of the sea anemone. Okay, so while those tentacles, as you can see in the picture, so are able to sting nearly all other fish, so the clownfish, thanks to the mucus on its skin, is protected from the stinging. So they both benefit with each other. So the clownfish has a safe place to live. So the sea anemones are saved by the clownfish from being eaten by their predators. So the butterfly fish. So that is the predator of the anemones, the butterfly fish. Okay, so they both benefit each other. Another example, we have the very common example, the flower and the bees. So bees and flowers have a mutualistic relationship as well. So bees get the nectar they need to make honey by traveling between flowers. So the bee brings pollen from one plant to another, resulting in pollination. So the bee is benefiting by getting the food, while the plants benefit also from being pollinated. So that is the mutualism. Okay, next we have the commensalism. So as you can see there, this is a symbiotic relationship where one organism benefits without harming the other. Okay, what is an example or what are the examples? As you can see there in the picture, we have the first, the cattle regrets eat insects disturbed by grazing livestock. So as you can see there, there's a bird, okay? So it will go there at the top of the cattle and then they will eat the insects. So meaning, so the bird gets benefit while the cattle will not be harmed. Okay, so the epiphytes get sunlight and nutrients by living in the host plant. So another one is birds army ants to eat fleeing insects. And another one is the orchid class. Are you familiar with the orchid? As you can see there, the picture at the top here. Okay, the orchid. So the orchid growing on the tree exhibits commensalism. So they are benefited while the tree is neither benefited nor harmed. So as the orchids grow on the branches of the trees, they can get sunlight to be able to make food. So they don't take anything from the tree. So the tree is neither harmed nor benefited. So meaning, even though the orchids are there in the tree will not be harmed. That is commensalism. Next, we have the parasitism. Okay, this is very common. It is where one organism benefits and the other is harmed. Okay, one of the example there is the lice or rinocuto, in our head. So in this case, the lice benefits from the human's head because of the warmth and its need to feed off our blood. So in this relationship, the organism that benefits is the lice. Okay? It is called a parasite, while the organism that is harmed is the host. So meaning, if you have lice or kuto in your head, the lice gets benefits, that is parasite. While us, the humans, which is being harmed, that is what we call host. Okay? So a person, another example is this one, the mosquito. Okay, and the skin. So mosquito gets benefits and us gets harmed. Okay, we can get dengue. Okay, another one class is this one. Okay, that is the in Bisaya that's bitok, okay? Or intestinal worms, okay? So here, a person with intestinal worms may also experience dysentery. What is dysentery, teacher? Okay, this is an intestinal infection, causes diarrhea with blood and mucus in the stool. Okay, so intestinal worms can also cause a rash or itching around the rectum or vulva. So in some cases, you will pass a worm in your stool during a bowel movement. Okay, so that's it. That is parasitism. Next, we have the competition. This is very common for some animals. Okay, so in competition class, it is where or two more organisms compete for one limited resource in which all organisms are harmed. So example for this is the cheetah and the lion. Okay, so they will compete for one food, like the zebra. Okay, so not just animals class. Plants also compete. In what way? They will compete for space, nutrients, and resources, such as water and sunlight. That's why when you want to plant, okay, you need to give them space. Okay? Hey, let's have an activity. On a paper or a short bond paper, I want you to write this table. Okay, you can pause this video to copy this. So I want you to write there. So mosquito and child. So which is benefited and which is harmed. Okay, not affected or not harmed. Then what is the relationship? So I give an example there in the first table. On the first part, we have the dog and a tick. Okay, dog and a tick. So which is benefited? Of course, the tick. Which is harmed? Okay, the dog. So not affected, not harmed. Okay, so not no one. Okay, so relationship, that is parasitism. Okay, so I want you also to do that on this preceding numbers. And this one also at the back of your paper or below. Okay, so I want you to write also this one. So, fleas on the dog's body. So, what type of interaction is that? Like, for example, parasitism. Now, I want you to describe what is parasitism. So, when you say parasitism is a relationship which the one organism is harmed while the other is benefited. Okay, so you will describe the relationship or the interaction. Okay, so that's it. That's the activity. So I want you to send your answer to me through messenger. Okay, or you send it here in the school. Okay, so that's it for today class. So I hope you learned something. And that's it. If you have question, you message me in the messenger or you can join in a virtual room. That's it, and thank you so much, and goodbye.